Are you procrastinating your bookkeeping because it just seems too hard and overwhelming? Well, watch this video because I am sharing with you on why you can be awesome at bookkeeping, even if you're not good at numbers and you know nothing about accounting. I am so glad that you landed on my channel because I show up every single week sharing information with you about home business tips that nobody else is talking about. How to get out of debt even when you're a spender, and how to balance being an entrepreneur and raising a family. So for the best mompreneur advice, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so that you get notified every time each week that a new video is released. If you're overwhelmed with the thought of bookkeeping and can't figure out how to get started or how to make it easier, make sure to watch till the end of this video because in here, we are going to be breaking through the lies that you need to be good with the money. You need to be understanding of accounting in order to have a successful bookkeeping method, because that is totally wrong. We are going to simplify this with a method that I have proven inside my course where I work with clients to simplify their bookkeeping and get it done in just 5 minutes a day. So let's get started. We are just going to clear the air and talk about the simple explanation of bookkeeping, because bookkeeping has really gotten skewed where people think that it's extremely hard and that there's so much that goes into it that they aren't even capable of doing bookkeeping right. Do you feel that way? Make sure to leave me a comment below and let me know if you fall into that category where you feel like bookkeeping is just too hard. You are out of your league when you think about doing bookkeeping. And what I want you to understand is that all bookkeeping is the act of tracking your expenses and income. That's it. In its simplest form, especially when you are just starting out with bookkeeping, you want to have this as simple as possible. And that means only tracking your expenses, your income, and really you should be tracking your mileage too. Now, when we talk about bookkeeping in that method, does that sound hard? If all you have to do is just track your expenses, track your income, every time you are spending money or making money, you're documenting it. That's it. It is as simple as that. Does that sound very hard? Of course not. So where did we get the idea that bookkeeping was super hard and overwhelming? And a lot of that comes from just being afraid of making a mistake due to taxes or when you're talking to your accountant. There's a lot of fear that can get placed within us, being worried that we're not doing bookkeeping right. But seriously, guys, in its simplest form, just track your every time you're spending money or making money, and you will be good starting out, okay? Now, the second thing is your responsibilities when bookkeeping. We tend to get worried that there's just so many responsibilities. We're worried that we're going to not do it all or not do it all correctly. And so that can cause us to procrastinate and not make any headway whatsoever. So what are your responsibilities when it comes to bookkeeping? The first responsibility is you need to be documenting at minimum weekly. Now, why is that? Why would that weekly phrase be put in there? Well, I went through a training with a person who used to, he was a CPA and he used to train auditors. And what he explained in this training is that if you're ever audited, the IRS will be looking at a 1 week time frame. They will say, when did you document this transaction? When did you document this business activity? And if you are saying, well, I do it on a monthly basis, or I do it every 6 months or quarterly, whatever that is, well, do you realize you actually are not meeting the guideline, the time frame guideline, which is 1 week. This was news to me. I did not know this. But the great thing for you is that if you're doing your bookkeeping at least weekly, the amount of time and effort that it's going to take you to do it, to complete it, is going to be so much easier than if you're doing it on a monthly basis or even further spread out. So that's actually kind of a gift for you to have motivation to do it weekly or even daily, just because it makes it go so much faster. So other responsibilities is that you need to be documenting the right information. Now, I really dig in deep into all of these steps inside my course with the 5-minute bookkeeping method. So if you are ever interested in that, I have a free webinar. Just make sure to check out the link in the details of this video, and you can get a free webinar to watch through and listen more in depth about that, okay? So you need to be tracking the right information, and you need to be having adequate record keeping. You need to have proof of times that you've spent money and times that you've received money, okay? So there are easy ways to document that, easy ways to capture the proof of that, such as storing as a receipt. And make sure to stay tuned for another training video that I do. The link will be again in the description of this video, where I go through some of my shortcuts for record keeping and how to make it really easy and cut the paper clutter. So you do not want to miss that, okay? Now, those are the responsibilities for you as a bookkeeper. You also need to be meeting with an accountant or a CPA for your taxes. Now, you can have an accountant or CPA, or you can use accounting software. But whatever it is, you need to be consulting with a tax professional or tax professional software when it comes to tax season. And in step number 3, this is what to track. That is where we are talking about your debits, your credits, and your balances. You are documenting every time you spend money, make money, and then you can be tracking your balances along with it, so that you're watching whether you are going in the red or you're operating in the green. It can sound a little bit complicated, but guys, this is so easy. And make sure to always watch in the description of these videos, because when I go more in depth on these topics, I will link a video to that. Now, as we move into the 4th point of this video, that is going to be how to actually get started. So if you are not doing any bookkeeping right now, or if you are doing bookkeeping and it is not working for you, then these are the steps that I want you to start taking. And this is not a one-size-fits-all. This is the most simplified version, but as you start doing it week after week, then you will start to find little tweaks that you can do to make it easier and more customizable to you. All right? So keep that in mind with this. Now, what I like to do is I like to grab a bank statement, a credit card statement, and my receipts, and go through those to make sure that I am tracking my debits and my credits, and constantly watching my budget, my balance across the board, to ensure that I'm operating in the green and not moving into the red. Now, that's really important, because if you start to operate in the red, you will want to immediately tweak your behavior, whether that's going out and pushing harder on sales or cutting back on spending for the rest of the month. That will help ensure you for success. So while you're tracking, you can just grab a piece of paper and a pen and write that information out. You can grab Excel or Google Sheets on your computer and just document it the same exact way that you would on paper. And again, this is stuff that I go way in depth in inside my course, but just start tracking it. If you list out on paper or on the computer or in an app, whatever is the most convenient for you, if you are tracking every time you spend money and make money, you are doing bookkeeping. And when you go and meet with your accountant at tax time, or pull up your accounting software at tax time, you are going to find that it is so much easier, because all of a sudden, without any effort, you are organized with your expenses and ready to figure out what tax deductions you can qualify for. So, speaking of tax deductions, if you do not know what deductions are available out there for a home business, make sure to grab my free cheat sheet on tax deductions, where I have around 70 examples of tax deductions that of expenses that could qualify for a tax deduction. And you can find the link for that in the description below. And if you want to join a community of people who are just like you, make sure to head over to the Facebook group where I take members through trainings every single week where we really go in depth on topics of business and on getting out of debt and on motherhood. So I hope to see you there. And if you found this video helpful, please make sure to like it, comment, share it with your friends, because there are so many business owners out there that are just overwhelmed when it comes to bookkeeping. And we want them to know that it doesn't take being smart with numbers. It doesn't take understanding accounting. It just takes a simple strategy for success. And remember, if you want to be notified when the next video goes live, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell.